Hey everybody, Fletcher Stump here. Welcome back to Radioactive Inc. and to Top 10. Told you I'd be bringing this back. So, like I said before, what we're doing is an anime Top 10 list, and what this is my favorite Top 10 slice of life genre animes out of all the ones that I have seen so far, because there are a lot. And believe me when I say that they are very addicting. You start watching one, then you find another, and it keeps snowballing until you've gone through like 50 of them, and you're like, well, what the hell? So, these are my top 10 favorite out of the ones I have seen. As per usual, if you do have your own favorite, do feel free to let me know down in the comments section. Excuse me. Ugh. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. So, at number 10, we have My Little Monster. Now, this is like a 12-episode anime, and it follows a girl who has to work exceptionally hard to keep her grades where they are. And she runs into a guy. She has to deliver homework to this guy who is not showing up to school because, well, he's afraid of people. Now, this anime is very intrinsic. Like, the guy is extremely smart, but is very afraid of people because people perceive him based on how he looks and not who he is as an actual person, which you do see a lot of that in everyday life. A lot of people do perceive others based on only how they look and not who they really are. So this guy looking kind of scary, everybody sees him as scary, and they're just like, okay, we need to stay away from him, don't go around him. And it is a very good anime, but it does sit low on the list because, well, for what it is, it's not all that. It doesn't bring as much to the table as some of these other ones, is what I'll say. So, moving on. So, at number 9, and please forgive me if I butcher any of these names, we have Toradora. Again, please forgive me if I butcher these names. So what this follows is a guy and a girl that who go to high school. A lot of slice of life animes follow high school, just something to pay attention to. But one is known as the Palm Top Tiger. The other one is called a Psycho, just because of how weirdly set his eyes are. But it follows these two and their everyday life through high school, and the friends that they talk to, the things that they go through, and for not being a very long anime, it's 25 episodes. So it is a little bit longer, but they do cover a lot of stuff, and they go through quite a lot. So, moving on. So at number 8, and again, please forgive me, we have Kimi ni Todoki. I probably just butchered the shit out of that. Follows a high school girl who, again, is perceived based upon how she looks and not who she actually is as a person. Now, she finds it hard to kind of talk to people just because they kind of stray away from her, and, they say all these things behind her back, but she gathers up the courage to kind of open up and talk to a couple of girls and starts to make friends and, forms these bonds with her new friends that, now she has people to talk to. She's not alone anymore. She has people to go out and have fun with, and it's definitely something important is to go through life and have some friends that, are there for you. You can't go through it alone. You never can. But, moving on. So, at number 7, we have Fuka. Yes, that is the actual name. Now, this anime is not yet finished, which is why it sits at number 7. I'm sure that if it was done, it would probably sit higher on my list, but I like it enough... Itchy nose, sorry. I like it enough to actually put it on the list as is, because it follows a high school kid, and he's just kind of indroned in his social media life. I guess, like, he's, pretty popular on Twitter, and yes, they actually use Twitter. But, so, and then he just, with classic anime tropes, bumps into a girl. She ends up breaking his phone because she thought, like, he was trying to take a picture of her panties, and, just one of those classic anime tropes that you see a lot. And, later on, she, starts to kind of warm up to him, and they end up joining this band, and, I mean, that's pretty much where it is now. Like, they have a band formed, and gotta wait for the rest of it to come out. But it's definitely a very, very good anime, and I have a feeling that, as it goes to progression, and whether or not it has a second season, we'll see definitely a lot of development with the characters, and, something really, really good will come about. So, at number 6, we have Working. Now, for this anime, I'm pretty sure we can all relate. You go and you get a part-time job to make some money, and when you get the job, turns out all the people you work with are pretty strange. And, I mean, come on now. We have definitely all been there before. But, the guy that the anime follows, he's trying to make some money due to the fact that his dad's business has been closed, and he wants to help out. But his co-workers are all pretty strange. One girl sees ghosts. Another one is, like, super rich but is working the job anyway. One guy is so poor that you can't help but feel bad for him because he's just so dirt poor that it's pretty bad. One chick brings her kid into work with her and tortures her manager just because she can. And the girl's, like, little itty-bitty child is, like, a super genius, like, already. It is a very good anime. It has a lot of comedy to it, yet has its like, semi-serious moments, which is always something that's really, really good. And it is definitely one I would recommend, and I mean, why not? So at number 5, we have, and again, God forgive me if I'm butchering this name, Bokura wa Mina Kawaso. Probably screwed that up. But, again, this is another one. A young man, he moves out, he wants to get his own place for the high school that he's going to, and he gets there, and it turns out that all the people that he lives with are kind of weird. His roommate is, like, super masochist. Out of the women that live there, one of them is a lush, just drinks quite often. Another one is, like, evil beyond belief and tries to manipulate the situation just for her to be entertained. Much like Working, it is very comedy-based, but does have its kind of semi-serious moments where things are kind of having their normality. So this is definitely a recommendation anime, one that you probably should watch, and I guarantee you would enjoy it. So moving up to number 4, we have Bartender. Now, yes, that is the actual name of the anime. It is Bartender. What this anime is about is, it follows a young bartender who they call the Glass of the Gods, because every drink that he makes is incredible. In this little back alley bar that you wouldn't really find unless you kind of happen upon it. And much like a really, really good bartender, he kind of helps people forget their worries, kind of helps them relax, refine themselves, kind of get that center that people need. Now, it is a slower anime. It really is. So the episodes are more just a lot of talking than anything, and it is an alcohol-based anime. So I mean, it does center a lot around alcoholic drinks, and you know the meaning behind them, the kind of influence that they can have. So you know, and at the end of every episode, you get a little recipe on how to make a drink. So no underage drinking, damn it. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I don't condone underage drinking. But if you're over the age of 21 and you want to watch this anime, get a couple recipes afterwards, and make some drinks at home, by all means. At number 3, we have Say I Love You. Now, I really, really like this anime. It's a 13-episode anime, and the reason I like this is that it tackles a lot of different things. Because not only does it focus on the two main characters and what they're bringing to the table, but all of your sub-characters, your secondary characters, they each bring something new to the table. It's fantastic. So the main character doesn't really make friends very well, and the main character Guy, he's kind of trying to fix the mistakes that he has made in his past. Meanwhile, your secondary characters, self-conscious about your body, kind of changing yourself for somebody else only to have your heart broken, loving a girl who's with somebody else, but, finding that it's okay if you're just friends. It brings a lot of different things to the table, and, they really pack a lot into these episodes. They just pack so much into it. And it is an anime that you'll probably find yourself rewatching if you actually sit down and watch it. I think I've watched it 3 times, and I'll probably end up watching it again before long. At number 2, okay, before I continue, number 2 and number 1, it was a serious battle over which one was going to get which position, because both of these animes are really, really, really good. I mean, there's a reason they're my number 1 and 2. So at number 2 we have Relife. Now, what this is a like 26, 27-year-old guy who is kind of down on his luck at the time after he quit his job because it went against his morals, which I would have done the same thing, is given a chance to go back and repeat high school, and if he's able to do this, will be given a job at the completion of this. Now, this anime was, I really took to it because it brings up a serious thing, if you had the chance to go back and kind of do things over, would you take it? Or would you just kind of let it pass by? And I think that it's something we can all relate to as, if we were given this chance, will we take it? I know that for a lot of people, there's a lot of things that they wish they could go back and change. And, this anime kind of shows you, what could happen if you took that chance. So that is why Relife sits at number 2. Now, bringing in at number 1 for my top 10 slice of life animes is an anime called Orange. Don't really know why they picked the title for that. There's about a million other titles that you probably could come up with, but this one deals with something on more serious lines. The main character receives a letter from herself, 10 years in the from 10 years in the future, about how she can save the life of her friend who is suffering from depression. Now, I really like that because you see it kind of everywhere in real life. It's talking about it openly. It's kind of this taboo that people don't really do. I mean, you try to talk about depression, immediately people are just oh, well, you need to go get help for that. Meanwhile, that's not always the case. Most of the time, you don't need like this professional help. You just need people around you who are willing to care enough. And if you have that, you can overcome it. So, and that's what this anime really tackles is, for the guy who has depression, his group of friends are kind of like rallying around him saying, you know, we're here for you. You don't have to do this alone. Like, if we all take a little bit, this isn't so much of a burden, and we can all kind of move forward with it. And that is why it sits at number 1. Like I said, between Real Life and Orange, it was a serious, like, back and forth over which was going to get which spot. But, hey, I hope that you enjoyed this, and, before the video's over, I just want to let you know, if you want to find out who the next character, for character breakdown that I will be doing is, I will be revealing that on Twitter way before I tell anybody, from the videos. So if you want to find out early, then you gotta follow my Twitter. You know, just saying. But, again, if you do have your own favorite slice of life anime, please do let me know down there in the comments section. And, you know, don't forget to leave me a like, subscribe if you're new, all that good jazz. And until the next time, everybody, I'm Fletcher Stump with Radioactive Inc., signing off.